Chapter 32. The return to our home on Lake Minnetonka is uneventful. Read huge house, too quiet. And my return to the new school year is less than eventful. Read still nowhere to fit in. Usually the first day of school takes me hours of morning prep to get ready. This year, however, I'm wearing my mom's boots and her jeans, a simple white top, $15 at Kmart, and a smile. Grandma surprised me and packed my mom's things in my suitcase. It's almost like my mom's with me when I wear her clothes. But I know it's not really any tangible thing that's connecting me and my mother. It's so much more. To my great joy, insert sarcasm, I have Mr. Markman again this year for 11th grade math. Apparently, he wanted to move up with his students to continue their mathematical journey. I think he just wants to move to the classroom closer to the supply closet. Then he can be next to his drug of choice, whiteboard markers. Sniff, sniff. But you didn't hear that from me. So onward to my first class of the day. Introduction to Pre-Calculus. Sounds like a barrel of fun. Our first assignment of the day is to work with a partner and try to figure out the review math problem Mr. Markman put on the board. Oh, great. The old find a partner scenario. It's really deadly, if you ask me. The popular kids radiate towards one another, and the rest of us flounder about trying to make eye contact with the rejects, hoping, praying that someone will work with us. I can see Marcia Glasgow, queen of the twofers, laughing and giggling at Steve Journo, jock of ages. She's homing in on him big time. Already getting off the bus earlier today, Marcia said, "Apple, oh my gosh, what are you wearing?" Like I didn't know Hoedown was in again. And she laughed all the way to homeroom. But I did see a coveting eye glance back at my boots. She's priceless, I tell ya. Yet for some reason, it just doesn't bother me as much today. And as I look at her, the sensation comes bubbling up, and I almost blurt out, N35? Yep, you guessed it. Marcia has a slight gambling issue with online bingo. So when I asked her last year, I-18, and before, it was really supposed to mean I-18 and B4, bingo callouts. Yet now I'm able to suppress my questions a bit. It's not time to help her with the issue yet. Who knew I had an ounce of self-control, and bingo was his name-o. So back to math and Markman. I look around the room hoping for a partner and trying to make eye contact with Nerdy Pete Smithers, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Scrabble champ. Whenever you talk to him, he adds up and calculates what your words would total on the Scrabble board game. Yep, I'm among winners here. Count those words right there, and that'd be 32 points. Except Mr. Markman says the unthinkable. Boys and girls, I've already paired you up. So listen, Marcia and Pete will work together. Ha! The rest of the teacher's announcement fades out as I imagine those two working together. There is a God, and he is good. And Maria and Gabriel will be partners. Jill, Kate, and Julie will work together. Michelle, Sonia, and Liz will be a good group. Oh, let's see. And Apple and Steve will pair up. What in the name of all that is Australian? Me and Mr. Steve Journo, Mr. Football, Mr. Popular, Mr. I have the most perfect face if you were ever that kind of thing, Steve. He will be repulsed by having to be my partner. Apple, get a hold of yourself. I see him pick up his notebook, and Marcia grabs his arm and says something inaudible. She laughs, and he just shakes his head. She touches the top of her hair, which reminds me that earlier this morning in the hallway, she was blabbing about how she created a new hairstyle with her hair twisted up and knotted on her head. She called it the messy bun. I called it the mop on top and said, I've seen lots of people wear that. Firmly, she retorted, I invented it. Right, and I invented the internet. Oh, wait, that was Al Gore. I move my books to make room at the table for Steve to sit. His buddies all laugh as he sits down at my table, but he doesn't look in their direction. At least he gives me some dignity. Okay, so I guess we'll just have to do this partner thing if we want a good grade. Yeah, I know, Apple. He quietly replies with a sideways glance. I never noticed his eyes were two different colors. One ice blue and the other cerulean blue. We both take out the assignment paper and decide our plan of attack. His buddies throw paper airplanes and spit wads in our direction. I get it. This is killing him having to work with me. He, being Steve Journo, has no school supplies and asks to borrow a pencil. On the first day of school? Doesn't anyone love back-to-school shopping? I'll have to update my chapter on how many days can a football player not bring any school supplies. This won't look good on his Ivy League applications. Apple, are you listening? He whispers. Oh, what? Yeah. So for number 2, we need to use the distributive property formula. No, Apple, Steve says, looking at me, right at me. Did you hear what I just said? Well, I guess I was, thinking about question number 2. So I wasn't listening. He sighs and continues. So I wanted to thank you for last year. Like I was saying. My face shoots up. Thank me? For last year? Yeah. If you were listening to me, he gives me a coy smile. I was saying I wanted to thank you for last year. It was sort of a tough year for us. For me and my family. Your family? Tough time? Steve, what could possibly have been tough in your perfect life? He just looks at me. Really looks at me. I wonder if I have a spitball in my hair. Maybe spinach between my teeth? Yeah, last year, see, he looked down at his feet. Last year, when my little brother was diagnosed with a rare congenital heart defect. And, well, oh, Steve, I never knew. Shaking his head, full, thick blonde hair with a few curls, if you like that sort of thing, he continues. Not too many people knew. Anyways, like I said, I wanted to thank you. I must have the deer in the headlight look because I have no idea what in the world I would have done for him. Every day, he continues while I gather my jaw that had fallen to the floor. Well, most days, you were the only one who could make me laugh. Believe me, when my brother was going through his treatments, there was nothing funny about what and how it made him feel. But you, in class and in the lunchroom, always said something, well, hilarious. I'd watch you and Marcia face off, and I have to say, you always beat her at her own game. But, I say confused, I thought you and Marcia were sort of an item? He chokes on his gum. An item? With Miss Mop on top? See. Steve winks. I always listen to you. You're never afraid to say what's on your mind, even if sometimes I have no idea what you mean. Wow. He actually is impressed with my outbursts. He continues sharing about his little brother, Mitch, and how he lost his battle with heart disease this past June. No one knows what it's like to lose someone close to them. Not like this. Steve hangs his head in his hands for a few seconds. I put my hand on his arm and whisper, Oh, I actually know a little bit about that too. And I ask him for more about his brother, Mitch. And I also tell him about my best friend, Nezzy. The bell's about to ring, and I realize that Mr. Markman is collecting the math assignment we were supposed to be doing. Steve, I'm so sorry. We should have done some of this worksheet. We would have been better off with another partner. He laughs, looking at me incredulously, saying, Didn't you know? I switched the partner names when Mr. Markman had his back turned. Markman didn't even notice, you know. He makes an exaggerated sniffing gesture. He sort of has other issues. I fixed it so I could work with you. Is this my life? This is my life. My life in which I am no longer going to sit on the sidelines. I'm feeling bold and brassy, so I ask him right as the bell rings, ending the class. So, do you want to get some coffee? Maybe Friday after school? I'd like to hear more about your brother. I can't believe I just asked out the school football star. Steve looks at me, then over my shoulders, to his buddies waiting for him in the doorway. Oh, sorry. Can't. Retreat, retreat, iceberg right ahead. I put myself out there for the first time, and now my ship is sinking. I'm just about to duck away, but Steve continues. I can't Friday night because it's my mom's birthday, and I always take her for apple pie at our favorite place. But how about Saturday? I'd like to have you meet Mitch, maybe. I visit his grave every weekend. It'd be nice to have some company. It seems like you'd, well, understand? Smile. Auntie Ober really did know what she was talking about. What did she say again? Grab the guy who knows his mom's birthday? And you know how I feel about mothers. Is he the pie to my apple? The yin to my yang? The bingo to my card call? The bingo card to the collar?